Well, hey there folks, and welcome once again to the Hop House. It's Eddie here, and it's time for another beer review. We're doing some local breweries sort of around the Shropshire and West Midlands area. Now, do us a favour, as I say at the beginning of pretty much most videos, if you just found us here on YouTube, then like, share and subscribe to this channel. It's the Hop House, hoppy beer, house music. That's what we like. Okay, so we've done one of the Hobson's brewery beers. We're going to do another now. This is, well, I'll show you what it is. Simple as, really. No point in beating about the bush. It is Hobson's Town Crier. It is a crisp golden ale, 4.5% in an 500 millilitre, 4.5% ABV. And it does have that Hobson's hat on the lid, which is their logo. This is their, I'd say this was their flagship beer. This is what they're most famously known for. They've won awards for it at various local beer festivals, SEBA and CAMRA localised beer festivals around Shropshire and the West Midlands and Western Wales, I think we come under in this area. I have had this before, so it's not a virgin beer review. And if you did just see my other review, I just did the old prickly. When I opened it, it was a bit crazy, it was a bit lively. And it was a bottle conditioned beer. So I have quickly read on the back here and it says this is also a bottle conditioned beer. So I'm worried it's going to go mad like the old prickly did. I haven't read anything else on the bottle, any description or anything. I just wanted to find out if it is a bottle conditioned beer. So fair play to Hobson's. Didn't realise that they bottle conditioned all their bottled beers. In fact, I've got another one here as well. This is a stout. What does that say? That is also bottle conditioned. I've not read anything else on it, and we'll do that in a separate review. Fair play to you, Hobson's. You have put live sediment in your bottles, bottle conditioned them so they're more closer to the representative of cask. That's a great move. Fair play to you. I got this from a local off-licence, just in a little part of Telford, a little high street, and not much going on there really. There's a few pubs, but there's only one that's got a bit of a beer garden, so the rest are all closed until next month, sadly. We are now middle of April, just past Easter, so it's got to the point where pubs are now open outdoors, so beer gardens are open. You know what, and today's the sun's come out, so I should be in a beer garden, but a couple that I wanted to go to are fully booked, because I really wanted to go and support my local brewery, but they're fully booked, so I can't go, and I'm back at work tomorrow. So I'm having to go with the next best thing, which is some bottle conditioned local beers. Hobson's Town Crier, let's get it out into the glass and let's hope it doesn't go mad like the last one did. We're using the old Bob Hobgoblin glass for this because it keeps head better than the Purity beer glass. Although with the amount of head that came out the last one, right, I'm opening it up very slowly. This looks like it's, wow, I can see it's going for it, right. Wish me luck. I watched a video the other day on how to pour a beer and apparently that's the way. Okay, that's giving me no head whatsoever. But I have just rinsed this glass out, so it might not be the beer, it might be the fact that this glass has just been rinsed out. Very light golden in colour, not much of a head, but I'll revive the head in a bit. If you've seen my other beer reviews, you've noticed that sometimes I don't have head when I've just washed the glass out. Good levels of carbonation. Looks sort of lagery like, doesn't it? It's very light in colour. It's supposed to be a golden ale, but it's very light for a golden ale. I'd say that the old prickly was darker in colour than this, but that was a golden. I can't actually see the sediment though. I could really, oh yeah I can. Not much of it in this compared, I'll just see if there's anything more left in the bottle. Come on, give me the goodness. I can see tiny little bits of sediment, but it's nowhere near as amplified as the last bottle was. So maybe that's why this isn't as lively, but again I think it may be down to the fact that I've just washed this beer glass out. Right, I'm going to get my nose in there, so we're going to give it a whiff and see what we can sniff. This is much more sweeter than the last beer. Sweet malt. Smells like a more traditional sort of sweeter golden ale. Tiny little bit of hop character, but not much. Certainly smells a lot sweeter. And if I remember having it, it wasn't necessarily a hoppy beer. But I have to say, I've only had this before on cask. I've never had it in a bottle. It is the same strength, by the way, in bottle than it is in cask, and so with the snuffly hedge grog, the old prickly. So it's 4.5% on cask, and it is 4.5% in a bottle. As we've seen on some of the larger manufactured beers, the supermarket ones, seems to be higher in a bottle than it is in cask. But this is exactly the same. Right. Yeah, smells much more traditional. Bit sweet, maybe a little bit of sort of sweet citrus, but very faint. It just smells like quite lagerish actually. Right, we'll give it a try. So bottoms up and down the old hatch. Right, I'll give it a jig and then we'll try another whiff. Jig and whiff. Give it a jig and give it a whiff. Just trying to get the head going a bit. I'll go through the flavours and ooh, it's quite refreshing on the back end. It's very lemony limey on the back end, I have to say. Oh, yeah, I'm getting more traditional hop now. I'm getting a sort of traditional peppery aftertaste of jam tarty smell, but still sweet bread malt through the middle. Well, that's what I'm tasting on the tongue, that I'm also smelling. It's refreshing. It is refreshing. So there's little bits going down the side of the tongue. It's not necessarily bitterness. It's like lemon and lime. It tastes a bit lager and limey. Maybe like, no, that's probably offensive to it, calling it a lager. I don't know, is it offensive to it? But it's very easy drinking. It's nice, and the aftertaste is a bit lemon and lime 7-uppy. It is. It tastes like someone's put a bit of 7-up into a golden ale. It's nice. It's okay. It's middle of the road, easy drinking. Definitely smells hoppier now as I've jigged it. Definitely smells hoppier, but traditional hops. It's not citrusy. It's alright, it's not bad. It's good. It's really nice. This would be a great beer to have in the sunshine. So, you know, in a world where you could go to beer festivals or food festivals, there's a few good ones around here in the spring and summertime. Especially a really good one in Ludlow, usually middle of May. So it's not going to happen this year, sadly. It didn't happen last year either, but it's in the grounds of Ludlow Castle. And it's a big marquee, and there's over 200 beers. You have it straight out of the barrel, and there's live bands on, and then there's a food bit as well, and some classic cars for those that like classic vintage motors and vehicles. And it's just a great day out. You can do some pubs on the way back to the train station, because we get the train there and back. Ludlow Spring Festival, go look at it, it's brilliant. But Hobsons are always there, as are some of the other sort of Shropshire brewers. But having this, because you get a little free, well, when you get a book of tickets, if you buy a certain deal, then you get a free half pint glass. And having this, I think in that environment where the sun's beaming down, and you maybe got a hot dog or a burger in this hand, and you've got a nice refreshing sort of golden ale that's nice and cool, and it's a step up from a lager to me. It's a step up from a lager. It's really refreshing. It is quite lemon and limey. It's overall sweetness, but with the lemon and lime kick, lemon and lime zest kick. And on the back end, it tastes like a lager on the back end. So sometimes a lager, you can have that little bit of crispness, a little bit of crisp bitterness. So it tastes almost like it's lager hopped, like a Pilsner. It's good. It's not bad. It's better than I remember it. I remember having it and thinking it was a bit wishy-washy. This didn't blow my mind. Put it that way. I thought, well, I'm getting into hoppy beers now, so I like this. I think when I first tried it, I probably was more likely to have liked it because I was more brought up on traditional best bitter. I wasn't really into my sort of American hoppy citrusy stuff. Let's have a read what it says on the bottle and then I'll give you my verdict. So, Town Crier, the beer with a big voice. In days of yore, only personages, sorry, I'm trying to read it in this light. It doesn't go well on this light. Right, I've got it now. Stand by, we'll go again. In days of yore, only persons of standing could become a town crier. Being able to read was key, so I'll be rubbish at it. But another characteristic was the ability to stand by your beliefs. Unpopular announcements resulted in torrents of abuse from disgruntled bystanders. Town Crier is a full-flavoured crisp golden ale with a hint of sweetness, complemented by subtle hop flavours leading to a dry finish. A beer with uncompromising integrity, a little like Hobson's really. So Hobson's, they had sort of characters to all the beers. The last one was the Snuffly Hedge Grog, it was the Old Prickly, and it was brewed as a charity thing to help hedgehogs. This is probably, as I say, I think this is their most famous beer, the one they've won the most awards for, and it's their golden ale. Right, finest ingredients. So, contains wheat and barley. Town Crier is a bottle conditioned beer. Pour carefully, contains sediment. Store upright, avoid direct sunlight. It doesn't actually tell us what hops are in this. It told us in the last one. I'm just reading a bit further down. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. So, style, golden straw. C, straw. Smell, subtle and fruity. Taste, light and fruity. It's saying it's 2.5 on the bitter and 3 out of 5 on the sweet. I'd definitely say it's more sweeter than bitter. But the bitterness is sort of lemony limey. So it is citrusy in that sense, but it's not like pungent grapefruit bitterness. Oh, it really smells now. Really smells traditional hoppy now. Yeah. Smells biscuity. That grassy, weedy smell. It's okay. It's not bad. I'll give it a thumbs up, like I give the Old Prickly, because I probably would buy that again. It has been a while since I had it, and I had it on cask, and I wasn't overjoyed with it. I would love to say that it's probably better on cask, but these are bottle conditioned beers, so it's probably as close to a cask as you're going to get, really, out of a bottle. Although the sediment content, oh no, I can see it at the bottom there. I can see it now. There's about 3 or 4 blobs of it. It's just not swimming around in the glass like it did in the last beer. Maybe that's why the last beer was so lively. Right, well, thank you very much for joining us. Like, share and subscribe to the Hop House, and we'll be back with another beer review on the other side. Ciao for now, people.